Hey, I'm on time this month for our monthly mindful check-in. Snaps! And maybe that's because I'd have to say October is my favorite month. I don't know if it's the memories, the temperature changes, or the way the nights feel deeper, or just the playfulness of Halloween. But either way, if I had to pick one, I would say October is my favorite. Hello and welcome to Torches, Yoga and Mindfulness. I'm Lauren, and today we are taking a mindful moment just to check in, to reflect on and release the previous months and move with intention into the new month. October is a month of transition. The air gets cooler, the days get shorter, and nature reminds us that release is just as important as growth. Sweater weather sets in, pumpkin spices in the air, and the veil between the worlds begins to thin. This is a time for slowing down, for listening within, and for making space for what really matters. And it is a month rich with meaning and symbolism, both in spiritual traditions and in the way we observe it today. In ancient times, Celtic traditions observed Samhain as a threshold between the light half of the year and the dark. They would honor ancestors, work with divination tools, and celebrated with bonfires and feasts. So, maybe this Halloween, you want to close out your night, you'd like to light a candle or sit around a fire, bringing forward pictures or memorabilia of family members that have passed. Ancient Persia held a festival to honor the deity Mithra, and it really was a time of gratitude, celebration, and reflection of the current year. Today, we could honor that history by choosing a day or a week to intentionally practice kindness and gratitude. Now, Rome really did it up in October, which I'm not surprised. That seems to really track with the Roman Empire. Their calendar was full of events and celebrations, like Augustalia, celebrating Augustus with ceremonies and games. There was Equus, a chariot race, and Fontinalia, where they honored fountains. No, but really, it was to celebrate water's life giving function. But they did honor and decorate fountains. Honor this pastime by taking a walk and visiting a local body of water if you have one nearby. Or maybe try to be conscious of how much water you use in a day. Take a shorter shower. Turn the water off in the sink, even if you're going to use it just in a moment again. They also had Mediterralia, honoring the new wine vintage, which they associated with health and healing. Maybe in observance of your own Mediterralia, you'd like to make your favorite drink and take some time to mindfully enjoy it. Instead of drinking your coffee on the go in the morning, pause somewhere to take in your environment and the coffee, the temperatures, the aromas, the tastes. For us in modern day, October holds a lot of awareness themes as a time that groups use to promote awareness and observe remembrances, such as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Some outreach and support groups may have some public events, charities, or walks in your area that you could participate in to help fundraise, to help families escape abusive partners. This one is really near and dear to me as I was one that was with an abusive partner some years ago. Clearly, I was able to get away from that, and I am very lucky in that sense because 70% of abused individuals that try to leave their abuser don't survive it. And as someone who has been on the inside of a relationship like that, I sought support. And it is much harder to find than you would like to think or hope. I remember my own mother looked at me having a busted lip, a black eye, a swollen lump on the side of my head, and she said, "Why would you let him? It's never that black and white." So every October, I like to help where I can for survivors of abuse. We also observe LGBTQ plus history awareness, breast cancer awareness, depression awareness, and more. All of these remind us that this month isn't just about turning inward, it's about turning towards one another. We can practice compassion, resilience, and remembrance. So, as you move through October, I invite you to pause and ask, what truth in my own life is ready to be honored? And where can I offer compassion to myself or others? October also has some fun, playful observances. Check out daysoftheyear.com for a whole list, but for me, on the 1st, I will definitely be celebrating International Coffee Day. If you plan to as well, do it with a mindful twist. Instead of Starbucks or Dunkin', check out a locally owned shop and then post a Google review. October 6th is World Architecture Day. And if you're an architect or if you're not an architect, you may be thinking, okay, how does that one apply? But it's actually a really beautiful reminder just to pause and notice your surroundings. Look up and see the buildings in your community. Reflect on the creativity and the effort it took to bring them to life. October 9th is Curious Events Day, and if you've been around the channel, you know mindful skill number 3 is curiosity. This is a great day to lean into a riddle or a question. Have you ever wondered something but never really dove into finding an answer? Do it on the 9th. The energy that comes with early October, which we'll talk more about in a moment, but it is great for deep diving into research and for breakthroughs. October 12th is National Farmers Day. Do you know what it takes for your food to end up on your plate? Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner on the 12th, take a few moments to consider all the processes and people that your food needs to make it in front of you. Maybe visit a local farmer's market. And then we have National Cat Day on October 29th, though I'm pretty sure my social media news feeds are always telling me it's like every other month. But anyway, I love my little cat buddies, so I'll make sure to share some pics and videos of them with you on that day. Like I said, there are so many more, almost one for every walk of life. If you want some inspiration to bring a little lighthearted mindfulness into your month, check out daysoftheyear.com. Now, the energy of October, like an ogre, has layers. Early October brings energy for research, questions, and preparation. If you've been avoiding a conversation or if your mind is spiraling on the what ifs, this is the time to practice presence. Breathe, pause, and remind yourself you don't need to script every possibility. Mid October opens the door to transformation and breakthroughs if we pause and listen. If things have felt stagnant, whether at work, personal endeavors, or relationships, this is a time for fresh momentum. Get curious, get involved, and let yourself shift. Late October is about reclaiming or stepping into your power. This is empowerment energy. If you've been timid about pursuing a passion, speaking your truth, or setting a boundary, this is the time to align with courage. And speaking of stepping into your power, though this YouTube page is only about 9 months old, I actually started Torches Yoga and Mindfulness last October. And I can definitely say what a wonderful first year we have already had. And that is thanks in large part to the incredible people I have around me who have supported me throughout this season of exploration, growth, and opportunities. And that includes you too, friend, supporting me here by allowing a moment for yourself, coming here for a few minutes so that you can take a practice, a mantra, a lesson, or a new perspective into your life, your family, your community. Because when you show up with a mindful approach, you show up as your best self. And that's just what this world needs right now, is more you. Okay, just know you mean a lot to me, and I'm done gushing for now. Woven into all of this is the Hunter's full moon on October 6th, which will be a supermoon. This moon is known for revealing hidden truths and for bringing clarity to our path forward. It's a perfect time to get honest with yourself, to uncover what really matters, and to create space for your passions. Now, of course, I have some mindful practices we can use to move through all this energy. One practice I return to often is stillness over scripting. When I know a hard conversation is ahead, my mind wants to prepare every scenario, what I'll say, how they'll respond, and how I'll counter it. But instead of feeding that cycle, I practice presence. I remind myself I don't need to control their words. I need to anchor in my breath, in my stillness, so that no matter what comes up, I can respond and not react. Another practice for this month is balancing introspection with physical self-care. Friend, check into your body. Does it need some rest, movement, different nourishment as the season changes? Listening to your body is just as much a mindful practice as journaling or meditating. And speaking of journaling, I have a few prompts for you to consider this month, and I'll also leave them down in the description below if you want to come back to them later. So, what is one truth I am ready to see clearly? What am I harvesting from September? And what am I ready to let fall away like the autumn leaves? Friend, remember to embrace all that October has to offer. I encourage you to try one or all three of these simple practices this month. Declutter a space in your home, maybe that closet or junk drawer that's been accumulating odds and ends all year. And don't criticize yourself for the clutter. Things pile up sometimes. So what? That's what happens when you live life. When you have some time and you can sit and reflect, make a harvest list. List everything you have gained or learned this year, and you can even take it up a notch, kick it a step further, and maybe consider what you would like to be able to add to your next year's harvest list. And lastly, I'd encourage you to start a simple nightly wind down ritual to honor the earlier sunsets. Light a candle or sip some tea sitting outside, enjoying the autumn weather, or spend a few moments journaling, meditating, or doing a relaxing yoga practice. Little practices like these align us with the rhythm of the season and bring mindfulness into our daily lives. So, friend, as you move through October, remember, transformation isn't just changes. It's about letting go of what no longer serves so you can step into your power. Thank you so much for sharing a piece of your day with me, friends. Stay present, stay kind to yourself, and I will see you soon.